Hello, everyone, and happy Saturn Day. Today, we're going to be talking about Saturn's exit from Aquarius and into Pisces. And this occurs during the solar eclipse on March 29th. So, I wanted to go into some of the things that we can expect to get some relief from as he exits Aquarius and enters into Pisces. So, that's going to be a really big shift. And for many, Saturn Aquarius has brought us a lot of lessons, especially karmic lessons if you have any placements or planets in Aquarius or opposite Leo, or I'm actually going to explain all the house placements a little later. But that's going to bring us some karmic adjustments to our lives that we can look forward to. And now that Saturn is moving into Pisces, we can expect release from some of those pressures that we were experiencing during his transit in Aquarius. Because in the Vedic tradition, Saturn rules the sign of Aquarius. In Western, it's Uranus. So he's very strong here, and his his lessons can be very potent. And as someone who has a moon in Aquarius, I can attest to that. So before we kind of dive into these very like specific effects, let's understand Saturn's drishti. What's a drishti? Drishti means to gaze. Okay, so his gaze or drishti is in the house that he occupies. Okay, it's also in the third, seventh, and 10th houses from where he's at. So you count the house he's in, you go three more, then you go seven, then you go 10 to see where his effects are. So I'm going to let you guys know what you can expect some relief from in these areas as he moves out of Aquarius and into Pisces on March 29th. So there's actually a story about how Saturn got his drishti or his special gaze, and that he was sitting in meditation, and his wife, who's very strong, came over and said, I think it's Mila and Manda, and Mandi and Gulika are his sons, but he's sitting in perfect meditation, and he didn't want to attend to a very necessary need that his wife was trying to get him up and do. And so she cursed him and said, "Whatever you now look upon will be destroyed." And so he was attending the birth ceremony, or not, because they didn't really have births in heaven. Ganesha was basically formed out of mud and then given life by Parvati when she was sitting in meditation. Uh, but anyway, so they were celebrating the birth of Ganesha, and he's a big supporter of Shiva and Parvati, and so he and the other planetary deities were there to recognize this birth. And Parvati was wondering why he wasn't looking at her baby Ganesha, and he said, "Parvati, please don't ask me to do this." And she goes, "How dare you not look at my beautiful child? What's wrong with you? Everyone's gazed upon him. Why won't you gaze upon him?" And he goes, "My drishti can be dangerous, dear Parvati. Please don't make me do this." So he goes to Shiva and he goes, "If you can excuse me about what's going to happen, I will gaze upon your son." And Saturn goes, and so Shani goes, "Okay, I'll do it," after he got permission from Shiva and Parvati. He looked at their son, and his head came off because of his gaze. That's one of the stories of how Ganesha lost his head. The other one was he was guarding his mother's bathing gat, and Shiva took it off. Anyways, but the whole point is that he's the remover of the ego. So when he's gazing upon these houses, he basically destroys them with our own karma. Okay, it's not him doing it, it's our past actions that are causing it. So that's kind of the story of Saturn's drishti or gaze. So it's the house he's sitting on, it's three houses from there, it's another seven from the one he's sitting in, and there's 10. So it's 3, 7, 10 in the one he's in. So that's how I came up with these calculations, okay? So this these areas of our lives were impacted, especially during his stay there. All right, so I'm going to go into by sign what we can expect there. Before I do that, I want to talk about the moon today, because if you guys were feeling a little emotional or just kind of out of sorts, it's because the moon was going through Gandanta. What's a Gandanta? It was going between Scorpio and Sagittarius. Gandantas occur between water and fire signs. They create steam. Okay, so today the moon is in what's called Mula Nakshatra. Now, it was Mula, Purvashada, etc. that brought us COVID. And Mula Nakshatra is actually ruled by the divine Nritti. She's a form of Kali. And anyone with a moon here, their power is the power to destroy, to bring things down. In a more positive aspect, this could be like a demolition specialist, someone who goes in and demos buildings and gets them ready for rebuild, things like that. In a more malefic sense, if it's not grounded, it can destroy everything around the person, including the very roots of their existence. So it's a difficult nakshatra to handle, but if you're able to do it, you can destroy the Tamas out of your life and leave room for new growth. So it's literally named the root. You can see like a cluster of roots here, okay? And what that is it's encouraging us to cut all of the things that are keeping us from the root of our existence, okay? The foundational aspects of our existence, okay? So the spiritual revolution that comes with people with moon and mula is they're literally being asked to cut their plant all the way down to the root to allow for new growth. What does that plant represent? That plant is growths from previous lives that connect them to the material world. So it's kind of like a spiritual renovation where all of the old structures are dismantled to make room for something else. And that's what COVID brought America. And then we had our Pluto return during that time. Pluto went into retrograde and now he's back direct. And so that was the dismantling of a lot of the structures that took place. Now, unless you were boots on the ground like my husband and I, you didn't really see a lot of the structures get, or the upheavals that were going on as much as we did. We saw entire industries change during COVID, including the tech industry. We saw our entire neighborhood change. We saw all of these, in our opinion, like Soviet-style housing things go up and people move in that had no real visible or clear means of income. So we saw this kind of occupation taking over during COVID. We shared it with other people, but it just wasn't jiving with them. Okay, that was Mula. That was getting rid of the previous, I want to say this, energies of the tech world that we were living in, which were a lot of college educated coders, etc., and replacing them with the incoming oligarchs, for lack of a better term. So it wasn't just COVID was basically just a way to, how do I say this, dismantle the systems that were currently in place and make room for the new tenants, so to speak. So with this energy, it's an opportunity for self-discovery, which is good because what that does is when we cut away certain material aspects of our lives, it really makes us think of what truly matters in life and what we need to focus on. You can engage in introspective practices under this moon because it is through the Gandanta at this point. Some meditation, some journaling. I had a very interesting dream last night that I'm going to go ahead and journal a little about. But right now, it's really best to postpone those major life decisions because we're in between eclipses. Moon just went through Gandanta. This is a time of review, especially with Venus and Mercury in retrograde as well. So unless you're really keen on spontaneous, transformative experiences, now's the time to really step back and reflect and review. Okay, so this is a time to really excavate that inner landscape and reveal the treasures hidden within you. That's what I would do under today's moon. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go into the sign-specific relief and remedies, as well as some modern remedies to kind of show you guys what's going through. This is going to be a little bit faster than yesterday because yesterday I went a little long. So we are going to start with the Vedic and modern remedies that you can perform to invite Saturn's blessings as he transitions from Aquarius to Pisces. I'm going to go into his transit into Pisces a little later and what that means for you. But this is about his exit from Aquarius and what you can expect some relief from. I went ahead and put the link in the chat if you're on YouTube to pull up your chart if you want to follow along. The link is also in the description. It's chart calculation. You just click on that and you can pull up your chart. And there's a little list, and this is based on ascendant, sun, and moon. Okay. All right. So let's start with Aries. So this is Aries, ascendant, sun, and moon. You are going to get relief from the first house. Okay. That's because he's third from where you'll be. That is, he's been on your ascendant a bit. So less personal pressure, better health. Okay, you're not going to be, your immune system's going to improve a little bit. You can see some increased self-confidence. Yay. Because he's been affecting those areas of your life for the last 2.5 years. So you get some reprieve there. The house of children, creativity. Less creative blocks are going to be occurring. You can have improved relationships with your children. The eighth house of transformation, there's going to be fewer sudden upheavals in your life. That's good. And smoother transitions ahead as well. And then he's also been aspecting your 11th house. So that's gains, profits, social. So you can expect some improved social interactions, connections, and a potential for an increased income. Okay. So the Vedic remedy is you can donate black sesames on Saturdays, especially if you're in India, you know what that is. You can feed peanuts to the crows. I go to Costco and I uh, take there's like a can of peanuts, and what I'll do is I'll put them through a strainer to get the salt off, and then I'll put them in little Ziploc bags and feed the crows, and I'll do Shani's mantra as I'm doing that. And that was my way of working through Sade Sati. And then you can also chant the Hanuman Gayatri. And you can also offer mustard oil to Lord Shani as well, especially if you're in India, you know what that is. So uh, Hanuman's Gayatri is Om Ajanayaya Vidmahe Vayuputraya Dhimahi Tanno Hanuma Prachodayata. Om Ajanayaya Vidmahe Vayuputraya Dhimahi Tanno Hanuma Prachodayata. And he is born of the wind. That's what Vayuputraya Dhimahi means, but he moves like wind too. So Hanuman helps us with Saturn's energy because he is the ultimate karma yogi. He is able to help us take our actions and the things that we're doing in this birth and put them toward divine interactions and blessings. Okay, so Hanuman is a very wonderful deity to tap into, especially if you're a karma yogi and you like to serve the collective. Okay, I know Aries, you have a lot of energy. So the modern remedies you can do. You can practice grounding exercises, walking barefoot, connecting with nature, going on a beautiful walk. Journal about any self-limiting beliefs that you experienced in the last 2.5 years, and engage in creative projects that bring you joy. So again, this ends on the 29th, and then we're going to hit Saturn and Pisces, and I will get into that later. All right. Oh, interesting. So, Ajasriya, okay, you say yes, peanuts, mustard oil, black sesame seeds, also black pepsi to workers. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's wonderful. I really love that remedy. Okay, so now let's look at Taurus ascendant. Okay, Taurus, you're going to get relief from your fourth house. That's home, mother, calmer home environment. Yay, because it's a Taurus ascendant. I've been going through this. Improved family relationships. That's always a good thing. This also affected your seventh house of partnerships. So you're going to have less relationship tension. Yay, Jonathan. And improved communication. Okay, so with them especially. And then your 10th house of career. He's been right in my career house. So, and I have a moon there, and he's stationed direct on my moon. And I was fired for 3 days later. It ended up being a good thing, but it was not easy. Okay. I knew it was coming because he's stationed right on my moon in my 10th house. And I told Jonathan that. It happened 3 days later, but it was a little jarring. So less career pressure and increased stability. I've been getting a lot of really bad bids over the last 2.5 years for clients and having to really work my bum off. So I'm actually going to look forward to better luck in those areas. And then 12th house of losses, reduce feelings of isolation and involve spirit and improve spiritual connection. Now, I will say that as he went through my 12th house, he gave me a lot more spiritual discipline. I was able to get up during Guru Muhurta and get my mantras and all of my things done. Before that, I was waking up a little later in the day. So he was like, no, get up at the right times, follow the right discipline and control. And he helped me with that. So I'm very thankful to Shani for that. And then when Venus went over my natal Saturn in Libra, I was able to really meditate well. So that was a big blessing that he brought me to. So he can bring you little blessings throughout his transits too. But again, these are all things that you can expect some relief from, okay, Taurus? So, yay. All right. Now, a really good Vedic remedy is you can fast on Saturdays. My husband and I don't do grains. We kind of treat it like an Ekadashi day. Ekadashi days are just like simple fruits, milk, things like that. You could also fast completely for the day, and then on their Jolly Ekadashi, which is the 5th and 6th where we live of June, we don't do any water or food. So, and that's it's going to be over 24 hours this year because of the lunar. It's almost 26 hours of no food or water, and it's difficult, but if you are healthy enough, it's very satisfying, and it can relieve a lot of karma and karmic debt. Okay, so you can fast no matter if you are, for instance, if you're diabetic or you can't do something like that. Doing his mantra helps as well, and I'll go ahead and give you that. I'll give you a seed mantra. Om Pram Prim Pram Sa Shanishwaraya Namaha. Om Pram Prim Pram Sa Shanishwaraya Namaha. Om Pram Prim Pram Sa Shanishwaraya Namaha. And when you're feeding the crows peanuts, you can do that seed mantra as well because you're blessing his mount. You can also donate black clothes to those in need. And just donating in general is a good thing to do for Shani, especially to disabled people and people that are elderly. If you have an older neighbor that needs help getting groceries, or someone disabled that needs a little something, he also loves that as well. So some modern remedies. You can practice mindfulness in your meditation, create a more peaceful home environment, focus on building healthy boundaries in your relationships, because those are the things that keeps helping us develop, especially if you were a Taurus ascendant, moon, or sun. Okay, I hope that was helpful, guys. Let's get into, speaking of Hershey, Gemini. Okay, this is for Gemini ascendants, moons, and suns. And again, this is the sidereal calculation, so you want to look at that. You can expect some relief in your 3rd house. That's siblings, that's communications. So you can see some improved communication skills, smoother interactions with siblings, which is good. The 6th house, that rules your health, your daily routines, and your house of hidden enemies as well. So that can be improved health, less conflict with adversaries, and less blockages in those daily routines. The 9th house, that is the house of higher education. So you can expect less obstacles in your learning and improved spiritual understanding. It's also the house of travel. And my husband is a Gemini ascendant. And it took us 3 days to get the Puerto Vallarta because Saturn was aspecting his 9th house. We had a lot of delays in our flights and getting down here. It was very interesting to see Shani work with him. And he was the reason we were, running late, and he was falling. It was crazy. So we're glad to be here, but we got a little bit of, it should have taken us half a day. It took us 3. We had to sleep in airports and everything. So it was interesting as an astrologer for me to see that, as well as the construction that's going on right now. And if you take it from that perspective and see it as kind of a science experiment, you can take your emotions and your reactivity out of it. But we can expect better travel ahead, which is very good. And then this is also in the 11th house of gains. So he can expect some, increased social interaction, profits, better connections, and improved finances as well. And that goes for all Gemini ascendants, moons, and suns. And a really good remedy for you as Saturn transits from Aquarius and into Pisces is you can do prayers and offer prayers to Lord Vishnu. You can feed crows on Saturdays, Saturn days, that's today, and you can also donate iron items as well. Okay, Gemini? So I'll give you a wonderful mantra for Vishnu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Vishnu is the great preserver. He's the dreamer. His highest form is Narayana, which connects us all to Source, the beautiful divine Leela or dream that we're living in. That's this Maya world we all inhabit, these universes within universes. So in addition to mantras and donating items, etc., you can practice clearer and more assertive communication. You can focus on any healthy lifestyle choices that you have gone into during Saturn's transit through Aquarius. And you can engage in continuous learning because that ninth house will be open and you can expect better travel as well. So maybe looking at travel plans and where you want to go next, especially if it's long distance travel. Okay. All right. That's the reason why we didn't move halfway across the world was Saturn was right on my husband's ninth house. And I went, oh, maybe make a shorter jump because we can expect a lot of drama if we make big ones. All right. So that's going to be cleared up March 29th. Woohoo. Okay. So let's go into the lovely Cancer, ascendant, sun, and moon. So you can expect relief from your second house. That's finances and speech. It's also the house of food. So that is going to bring improved financial stability, more mindful communication, thinking before we speak, because you experience some issues in these areas for the last 2.5 years with Saturn's transit. It also rules the fifth house of creativity in children, so you can expect better relationships with your children. If you had any creative blocks, you can expect a lot of those to be lifted during this time. And then improved relationships just in general with students as well, because I was told the fifth house also rules students. And eighth house, that he's also been aspecting that. That's a house of transformations, major upheavals, things like that. So you can expect a lot less emotional turmoil, smoother transitions. If you've been dealing with chronic illness or disease or issues with inheritances, you can expect some reprieve from those areas as well. And then the 10th house of career. So you can expect some increased career stability and less pressure. Like you feel like you're just on a hamster wheel all day, okay? Or that, some of those opportunities haven't been available for you. That's going to bring you some relief there. And again, this is after the 29th. So the best thing that you can do during this transition, and this goes for everybody in the audience, and you can do this during the eclipse on the 29th as well, okay, is prayers to Lord Shiva. You can also donate black or a doll, and you can recite the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. This is the most powerful mantra that you can do during eclipses, during Saturn transits. I also have a few that I dedicate to Kali and Durga as well, but I really wanted to cover this one for Shiva, okay, and you've watched me on my show before, you've heard this mantra before, especially if you watch the eclipse shows, okay? Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandhanam Mrityurmukshiyamamritat Om Shanti 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 Om Peace Peace Peace. So dear Cancer, that is a very powerful mantra. If you're able to learn it, they can help you with this transition. You can also listen to it. There's a lot of great Mahamrityunjaya mantras on YouTube that you can listen to during the eclipse before you're able to kind of get the rhythm down, okay? Now, some modern remedies. You can practice financial planning, engage in those creative hobbies again because you can feel those blocks getting lifted, and prioritize your emotional well-being. Okay, so those are some things that you can do, okay, dear Cancer? Lovely to see you, Thomas. Welcome. Good morning. And the crows just started singing loudly. I love that, Hershey. They're participating in Mahamrityunjaya. They recognize it. That's wonderful. All right. And welcome, respected prosecutor from Twitch. It's lovely to see you. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into Leo, ascendant, sun, and moon. All right. You're going to get relief in your first house. Yay, that's your self. So that's increased self-confidence and reduced personal pressures. Your fourth house, that's the house of real estate, mother, so you can expect a calmer home environment. Now, my husband's Leo and I'm Aquarius, so we got to both deal with the fourth house energy. It's been interesting, and the seventh house. So that was like, woohoo, with Saturn. And we're looking forward to his transit through Pisces so we can get some relief in those areas. So improved family relationships are always a good thing. This is also the seventh house of partnerships. So that's improved relationship harmony and less tension there. And then the ninth house, that's the house of higher education, career, philosophical understanding. You can expect less obstacles there. Woohoo. So some Vedic remedies. You can donate mustard oil on Saturdays. You can chant the Surya mantra, and you can offer prayers to Lord Hanuman as well. I gave Hanuman's mantra a little earlier. So I'll go ahead and give you Surya's mantra. This is very simple, guys. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. And if you want to do his Bij mantra, it's Om Hram Hrim Hram Sa Suryaye Namaha. And again, you guys can do this via a mala 108 times. This is best done on Sunday. That's tomorrow. Okay? That is a good remedy for you, Leo, because Surya is the lord of your sign. Okay? Okay. So some modern remedies, dear Leo. You can practice a little more self-care, especially with that first house energy getting some relief. You can focus on creating a more supportive and loving home environment, and you can engage in a more open communication with your partners. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know about you guys, especially because I got a Leo moon in the house. Okay, now let's move on to the lovely Virgo ascendant, sun, and moon. You can expect some relief in your third house, that's siblings communication. So less communication related stress. Yes. Improved relationships with siblings. We all like that. And then he's also been aspecting your sixth house, that's health and hidden enemies, also daily routines, karma yoga. So you can expect some improved health, less conflict with adversaries. I actually like it when Saturn, because he's in my sixth house, I love him there because he points out my hidden enemies and I'm able to deal with them appropriately. So it's not necessarily a bad thing for him to aspect the sixth, in my opinion. It can bring some acute illnesses and things like that, but he really pulls the blinders off and provides you with some pointers in that area. He also was transiting the eighth house of transformations for you, so less sudden upheavals, smoother transitions, especially as you guys have been being hit by Ketu as well. That's the south node. And he's created a lot of detachment, especially when it comes to more bureaucratic tendencies and material tendencies that we rely upon. So less transformations there. And smoother transitions, okay? And then he's also been aspecting the 12th house. That's losses, feelings of isolation. But he does improve your spiritual life when he goes through there. He provides more discipline. I can attest to this. But you'll see less blocks in your meditation moving forward too, because he is a planet that's more about your karmic responsibility, whereas more malefic planets like Ketu are all about letting things go and detaching. So your discipline, your duties, and the karma that you were paying off during that time might have gotten in the way of your meditation. So you can expect better meditation moving forward. Okay. So you can chant the Shani mantras. I gave you some toward the beginning there. You can donate green vegetables, but you could also offer prayers to the beautiful goddess Durga. She is all of the divine devas, siddhis or shaktis, which are spiritual gifts and powers, weapons, all put into one deity. There was a demon called Mahish Asurya. He was a buffalo demon, and he did a lot of austerities and tapas to Shiva. And what happened was he gained a lot of power, but because he was a demon, he didn't use it appropriately. And so he let his ego just get completely out of control, and he enslaved the three worlds. And so the Devas, they came to, Brahma, and they said, we got to stop this guy. He's driving us nuts. And so he goes, well, just have Indra go to war with them and try to take him out. So Indra goes to war with Mahishasura and loses. And the Devas got together and went, if the king of the gods can't defeat this guy, what the heck are we going to do? So they came up with an idea to take all of their powers, all of their energy, and they created Durga. And Durga took out Mahishasura, just like bam, gone. And it was pretty amazing. If you haven't read the story, that's just a very brief summary. It's excellent. But she's a very powerful goddess. And if you've been dealing with those hidden enemies, with those big upheavals, like 6th and 8th house stuff, she's really great at helping you transition with Shani from those lessons that you learned over the last 2.5 years and into the Saturn and Pisces energy, because then he'll be aspecting you directly. He'll be aspecting your first and seventh, in addition to the other houses that I mentioned in other signs, and we'll go into that a little later. But yeah, so I'll give you guys a mantra from her, okay? Om Sarva Mangalye Shive Sarvakasarike Sharanye Tramike Durge Narayani Namostute Om Katyayanaya Vidmahe Kanyakumari Chadimahi Tanno Durgaye Prachodayata. And if you want a simple mantra, Om Dom Durgaye Namaha. Om Dom Durgaye Namaha. Om Dom Durgaye Namaha. And the best day to worship her is today, Saturday, and also during eclipses, because she helps us with eclipse energy and Rahu energy. Okay? All right, so a modern remedy that you can do is you can practice organizational skills, you can focus on those healthy habits, and you can engage in practices to promote more inner peace. Okay, dear Virgos? Lovely to see you, Rose Blue. Welcome, dear. All right, so now let's get into Libra, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants. Okay, you can expect some relief from your second house. That's finances, speech, food. So let's improve finances, more positive communication, more access to, healthy foods, things that you like to eat, improve speech as well. He also affected your fifth house of creativity and children. So you can expect improved relationships with your children after the 29th and more creative flow, especially if you've been feeling those blocks. He aspected your seventh house of partnerships, so you can expect more harmony in your relationships, less tension. And then your 11th house of gains, that's improved social connections and increased income. So that's always a good thing. And then elder siblings is also 11th house, so better relationships with them as well if you have any elder siblings. Now, a Vedic remedy is you can fast on Saturdays. That's today. My husband and I just don't do grains. We treat it like an ekadashi. You can donate white clothing, and you can chant the Lakshmi mantra, okay? And I'll go ahead and give you a mantra for her. Om Hrim Shrim Lakshmi Veyo Namaha. Om Hrim Shrim Lakshmi Veyo Namaha. Om Hrim Shrim Lakshmi Veyo Namaha. And she is the goddess of wealth and beauty and just all things beautiful. She is the divine feminine of counterpart to Vishnu. And there are many stories about her, as her life of Sita, etc., in the Ramayana. And anyway, she's an amazing goddess to tap into, and I highly recommend that mantra. It's best to pray and say mantras for her on Fridays, which is Venus's day, but she loves it when you pray to her at any time because she's a very benefic goddess. Okay. Now, some modern remedies you can do. You can practice budgeting. You can engage in those creative outlets and focus on building balanced relationships, especially when it comes to your children and your spouse. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move into Scorpio ascendant. You can expect relief from your first house. Okay, so that's increased self-confidence, less personal pressure. Whew. Especially if you've been dealing with illnesses and things like that. A little more reprieve there. The fourth house, that is the house of home, mother. So you can expect a calmer home environment, improved family relationships, better emotional equanimity there. Okay. Your sixth house, that's the house of daily routines, health, and enemies. Also karma yoga, so improved health, less conflicts, especially with people that are trying to, poke at you. Okay. This also represents subordinates at work, things like that. So less issues there. And your daily routine might improve a little more as well. So you're able to keep more on track, less obstacles there. And then their 10th house of career is also going to improve. So more career stability and less pressure at work, which is always a good thing. And so a Vedic remedy that you can do as Saturn moves from Aquarius into Pisces on the 29th it's also during an eclipse, is you can offer prayers to Lord Hanuman. I shared his energy earlier. You can donate red lentils. You can chant the Mars mantra or the Skanda mantra as well. Okay, I'll go ahead and give you Mars' mantra, and this is a seed mantra. Om Kram Krim Kram Sa Bomaya Namaha. Om Kram Krim Kram Sa Bomaya Namaha. Om Kram Krim Kram Sabhamaya Namaha. And again, you can do this via a mala. It's 108 times. And the best day to do that is on Tuesdays, Martes, which is Mars Day. And focus on your Manipura chakra as you do that, because that's the chakra that he rules. It gives us that bravery, that fortitude to move forward without fear. Okay. And then some modern remedies you can do. You can practice some self-affirmations, create a more peaceful home space, and focus on keeping those healthy lifestyle choices that Saturn kind of pushed you into during the last 2.5 years of this transit. Okay. All right. So Sagittarius ascendant, moon and sun. You can expect some relief in your third house. That's siblings, communications, and neighbors. So less sibling rivalry. If you've been having disputes with your neighbors, that can calm down a little more. And you can expect your communication to be a little better. The last couple of years have been hard for anyone dealing with Mercury retrogrades, etc. as well, especially if you have Gemini or Virgo placements. But for Sagittarius, it's kind of been a Mercury retrograde for the last 2.5 years, because you kind of felt like maybe you were misunderstood, and that was because of Saturn's transit through that third house. So an aspect to the third house, excuse me. Now you've got the, yeah, he was in the third, Aquarius. So then you had the fifth house, and he was also asking that. That's children creativity, so you can expect increased creative flow again and improved relationships with your children. The ninth house, that's your higher education. Okay, that's going to bring about clearer philosophical understanding, better travel, especially long distance travel, karma, which is good, because if you've been traveling during this time, Sagittarius, you probably ran into a few things. Less obstacles, which is good. And then your 12th house, that's losses, financial, but it's also a spiritual house. So if you're feeling a little isolated, you can work on how do I say this? Getting out a little bit more. And Saturn should have improved your spiritual life a little bit during this time as well, because he did cause you to go in. That's at least what he did in my case. I'd be interested to hear how he affected your 12th house. Now the Vedic remedy, you can offer prayers to Lord Brihaspati. Okay. He's Jupiter. You can donate yellow clothes. You can chant the Guru mantra, and I'll give you Brihaspati's seed mantra. Om Gram Grim Gram Sa Brihaspataye Namaha. Om Gram Grim Gram Sa Brihaspataye Namaha. Om Gram Grim Gram Sa Brihaspataye Namaha. And the best day to do that is Thursdays. That's Jupiter's day. Okay. So modern remedies, you can engage in more learning opportunities, philosophical discussions, things like that. Focus on positive communication and practice spiritual or philosophical exploration. You can also incorporate more long distance travel into your schedule as well, because Saturn will be off that area a little more. Okay, so that's a good thing. All right, so the next lovely sign is Capricorn. Okay. Capricorn, you can expect relief in your second house. That's finances, speech, improved financial stability, and more positive communication. Also better foods, things like that. The fourth house, that's home, mother, a calmer home environment, and improved family relationships. We all love that. That also is the house of real estate. Okay. And then the eighth house, that's transformation, sudden upheavals, chronic illnesses. So less sudden upheavals, less less bad transitions and smoother transitions. Yay! So if you're dealing with an inheritance, you can expect some other people's money, things like that. You can expect some reprieve out of this area as well after the 29th. So that's good. He was also aspecting your 11th house of profits, gains, elder siblings, and your social life, your tribe, the people that you choose, okay, to hang out with. So you can look at some increased financial stability, improved social life, and better profits moving forward. Okay. So the main energy in and around this is you can chant Shani's mantras. I gave you guys a few toward the beginning. Donate black sesame seeds, and you can also offer prayers to Goddess Kali. Goddess Kali is, like I mentioned today, she is Nirti, a form of Kali, is in charge of today's moon in Mula. She's the great destroyer. She takes all the tamas out of our life and she gets us down to the roots of our existence so that we can grow into more sattvic and beautiful ways of being. So a really good mantra for Kali is Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. And another is Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Vajrakali Kapalani Durga Chama Shivadatri Swaha Swada Namostute. And Goddess Kali is a beautiful mother energy to tap into, and very helpful when you're undergoing a lot of transitions. Okay, so I hope you guys find that her energy helpful. I'm very close to her. Now, modern remedies. You can practice financial planning, you can create a peaceful home environment, and you can focus on building stronger social connections. Yay, enjoy that. Okay, I know you like that, Capricorn. So let's get into the lovely Aquarius ascendant moons and suns. Now, you can expect relief in your first house. That's self, increased self-confidence, less personal pressure. I'm looking forward to that as an Aquarian moon. Ooh. Especially as I've been going through Sade Sati, because he's been right on me. You've got your third house, that's siblings, communication, and improved communication and less stress there. Your seventh house, that's partnerships, so you can expect increased harmony and less tension with business partners and or your spouse, okay? And then your 10th house, that's career, increased career stability. These last 2.5 years have not been easy, guys, especially when he's stationed direct on my moon in my 10th house. I was like, Shawnee, he's like, you're going to have to learn some new things. And I've been doing AI in the meantime to make myself more productive. So I'm able to bring a lot to the organizations that I'm getting a lot more career contacts lately, but because it's eclipse season and he's not completely out of Aquarius yet, I'll just let you guys know. I got a bid for someone who had a very low budget and they wanted like 80 hours of work done if I were to parcel this out all out and multiple employees to do it. And I just looked at them and went, no. It was just like, that's not physically possible. So things like that, getting bids that are like, I can't, that doesn't even cover the software for what you want done, things like that. So I'm actually looking forward to getting some client contacts that actually have the budget to move forward and the understanding of what it takes to run a business. So it's been difficult though, and I'm interested to see if any of you guys had if you have a 10th house placement in Aquarius, or if he was aspecting your 10th house, how you kind of dealt with those energies as well, because they were rough on me. So I'm looking forward to that increased career stability. So a Vedic remedy that you can do, dear Aquarians, is you can fast on Saturdays. You can donate iron items. You can also chant one of Shani's mantras. I gave you guys a couple. And you can also do the Yama mantra. Now, Yama is the brother to Shani. So Shani helps us pay off our karma, and then Yama weighs our karma and determines what plane we go to after this birth. Sometimes you go right back into a human body. Sometimes you go to the land of the Pitris, which is the south path, and sometimes you ascend to the higher realms, the Uttara realms, which are realms that allow us to grow as souls before, again, entering the human experience again, after we've exhausted our karma. And Yama determines that he's god of death. And they're brothers. They're both sons of Surya, the sun energy. Okay. So I'll go ahead and give you his mantra. It's the Gayatri. Om Surya Putraya Vidmahe Mahakalaya Dhimahi Tanno Yama Prachodayata. And Yama is not a deity to fear. He is actually a beautiful deity that helps us understand our karma, especially at the end of those life cycles, so that we can ascend and be bigger, better souls. Okay. Some modern remedies that you can do is you can practice self-care. You can focus on clearer communications, and you can prioritize those healthy relationships again. Yay! I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to him getting out of Jonathan's 9th house. That's going to be nice. Okay. So last but certainly not least, we have wonderful Pisces ascendant, sun, and moon. So you can expect some relief in your second house. That's finances, speech, improved financial stability, more positive communication. So yay. And he's also been in your sixth house. That's health, daily routines, hidden enemies. So improved health, less conflict, less obstacles during the day and trying to get things done. And then the ninth house, that's higher education, clearer understanding, less obstacles. So we all enjoy that. And then we've got the 12th house. That's the house of losses, reduced ice. You can expect some reduced isolation and improved spiritual connections, which is wonderful. So if you've been feeling some blocks in your meditation, maybe some weird dreams, things like that, dear Pisceans, not only is it because you have a stellium in your in sidereal Pisces right now, and you're right about to get hit by eclipses, but what he's going to do when he moves into Pisces on the 1st is he's going to have you really reevaluate who you are and kind of rip the blinders off of some of the things that you haven't been seeing over the last 2.5 years. So you can look forward to that. So if you've been doing those spiritual remedies and practicing more discipline over the last 2.5 years, this next transition of Saturn going into Pisces, especially if you're a Pisces moon, you'll be in full Sade Sati, you'll be able to handle his lessons with more ease and grace. And as an Aquarian moon, I can tell you, Sade Sati is a very difficult period, especially when he stations direct right on top of you. You pay off a lot of karma, a lot of karma. And if you guys heard from my other stories, we lost like $540,000 in equity out of our house after it was destroyed. We didn't get anything from the insurance company. That was the 4th house. The 10th house, I then lost my job, and that was our main source of income. We moved to Mexico because our home environment was just falling apart. And the last eclipse, a tree fell on our apartment, guys. You can't make this stuff up. The one we used to live in. So Shawnee was definitely making himself known in those areas for me. And then our marriage, I mean, we made it through it, but it was not easy because a lot of that stress has an effect on your relationships. So that's how he affected me in full Sade Sati. I lost all of my wealth, almost all of it. My job, I had to basically go straight into my spirituality. But what that did was I was getting up at 4 a.m. and doing my mantras. I turned my house into an ashram. That 12th house energy was activated, and I was really able to dive into my spirituality. And miracles happened that help us pay our bills. I received more clients. I was able to not look at the budget and say, okay, we're going to be able to eat. It was that bad, guys. So we're okay. And I'm looking forward to rebuilding from here. But if you are a Pisces moon, sun, or ascendant, know that there's some big transformations coming for you. And if you want some remedial measures, I'm right here. I just went through it. I did them and they work. Okay. So, all right. Some remedies that you can do, dear Pisces, is you can offer prayers to Lord Krishna. He's the god of love. He is the main avatar in what's called the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita. Both amazing texts to read. You can donate yellow fruits and you can chant the Guru mantra as well. Okay, so I'll give you a simple mantra for Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can focus on your Anahata, which is your heart chakra, as you offer prayers to Lord Krishna, because he's the indweller there. Now, if you're looking for some modern remedies, you can practice better financial planning. You can focus on those healthy habits, and you can engage in spiritual practices that bring you more peace. Okay, so those are just a few things that you guys can do with this Saturn moving out of this Aquarius energy where he's very strong and into spiritual Pisces on the 29th. Now, Pisceans, you've got some eclipses happening there. Big stellium eclipse on the 29th. Okay, you also have Saturn's transit. So if you want to schedule a reading with me, I can help you through that. Okay, and I can also give you some really good remedial measures to prepare as well. I highly recommend you do something to prepare for that because the things that I did really did help. Okay. All right, so that said, Om Shanti, Om Peace, Om Love, and I will see you all tomorrow. Blessings.
Sacred knowledge from the stars. Vedic truth heals ancient scars. Mantras clear the karmic way, bringing light to guide each day. Let the planets show their signs as the cards and stars combine. Ancient wisdom flows through